Welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog, where industry executives share their insights and vision in today's landscape of live entertainment. Mario Morris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be with you.
So Mario, first year in ACC for football, pandemic, lots of changes. How are you managing the new normal?
Well, hopefully it's not the new normal for a long time. We're managing just like everybody else. This has been a year like no other. No one planned for this, and so we've all had to sort of learn on the go. There have been a lot of changes. I think from the beginning, we have sort of made sure that everyone understood that we had to be flexible. That change was going to happen daily and hourly, actually, in some cases. And so, with that sort of being our framework and making sure our people understand that, I think our team has handled it really well. And we'll continue to do so. There are challenges that come up every day. And so we just, we know that that's going to happen, and we just adjust and move forward.
Awesome. I mean, love the start of the ACC 2-0, number 7 in the country. One of the first games back, I remember watching it on TV because I was just like pining for college sports, and they play "Here Come the Irish" and I get goosebumps. It was just a magical moment. So thank you for that.
It's really great. You mentioned the ACC. I think in the year that many of our student athletes have had many things taken away from them, I think this is an interesting experience. I played in a conference, so we could compete for conference championships and national championships. And I think giving the teams, the football team in particular, a opportunity to compete for a conference championship in addition to a national championship is something that is unique and something that's very special.
Yeah, ACC strong this year too, so it'll be great. So, this year you have some fans in the stands, but they're primarily students and some faculty, staff, and I think maybe some family members. So how did you land on that decision, and how's that going?
Well, as you might imagine, that wasn't a financial decision, with our students and our faculty and staff. I think that, that decision was made very early on. And it's really in the spirit of Notre Dame and sort of the academic enterprise, and that we want to make sure that our students and our faculty and staff, have the opportunity, if we were to have in-venue attendance, that they had the first opportunity to attend. It's a part of the student experience, and we want to make sure that they had that opportunity to attend.
Awesome. So with that, obviously season ticket holders, donors, they're not in the stand. So how did you communicate that to them, and how did those conversations go?
Well, there was a lot of internal discussion on how that would happen. One of the most challenging parts of that was that the decision, right, on sort of when that decision would be made, whether we were playing at all, whether we would be delayed, that took some time. And so, our communications, we took a few weeks on really drafting these communications and going back and forth and working with our campus partners on it. And so, we did send out, communications to our donors and our fans. And I think it's gone well. Like many, we gave them an opportunity to either donate their contributions for the year, roll those over to next year, or to receive a refund. And so we've had a lot of positive response, from our fans and season ticket holders.
That's great. All in this together, literally. So, looking at the game day experience, obviously there's some nuances this year with COVID, keeping people safe, social distancing. So what did you do this year from a process or technology perspective, and how did you deploy that game day experience?
Yeah, so we realized also early on that we needed to go 100% mobile, and so that's something that we did. You can't we can't sanitize enough. Making sure that we have signage, making sure that we have people on the ground, sort of directing our fans that are attending the game. Making sure that we have timed entry. So those are some of the things that we deployed. And I think it's something that actually that will be helpful. We had already made the decision that we were going to be moving to 100% mobile next year. And so this sped that up. And so this is a good year for us to learn from that. I know a lot of other institutions are doing it as well. And I think we all will just become better at it. This is how tickets will be delivered for the most part, going forward into the future.
Right.
So, use a lot of new technologies. Our ticketing and marketing departments have done a great job, along with our event management staff and our campus, on trying to make sure that, although this experience is unique, that we were able to deliver it and make sure people had a good experience.
That's great. So tell me a little bit more about timed entry. You were one of the first to pioneer this technology, which frankly, we hadn't been asked that before this year, right? So tell me more about that. How is that working?
Yeah, so we have mixed results on time entry. I think people are always eager, especially now. We've been held back. We've been inside for 6-7 months. And so people are eager to get into the environment. I think in many respects it's gone well. I think we're learning from it and sort of how to best utilize that. The one thing that we have now is sort of a smaller sample size, so what do you do when you go from 15,000 fans to 80,000 fans and you want to use some timed entry? So I think those are some questions that we have to focus on. But I think deploying the technology has gone really well. Again, our staff has done a great job.
Awesome. So, there's students in the stands now, some faculty, staff, some family members. There's a lot of season ticket holders that want to be there, that can't be there. So what are you doing to keep them engaged, right? This is a very unique year. What are you doing to keep them engaged, and how are you, giving them that experience while they're at home?
Yeah, so, credit to our Fighting Irish media partners and our Monogram Club, our letter winners organization, and then our ticketing and marketing staff. Again, we have we've introduced something called Rally House, whereby we wanted to be able to deliver an experience for our season ticket holders and for our fans that couldn't attend the games. And so we have these virtual chat rooms where we invite a bunch of sort of Notre Dame, stars and celebrities to come in and talk to each other, teammates to talk to each other, but we also allow the fans to engage with them as well. And so it's been a great experience. It is something that, again, born out of sort of necessity that I think we will have to utilize sort of going forward. I can see every institution having some version of this at some point where you can engage those fans that can't be in attendance. College football and sort of the in-venue attendance has been declining for the most part for a number of years. And so the question has been sort of, how do you engage fans that aren't in venue, right? Another question is sort of, how do you create more diverse revenue streams? And while we're not looking at that for this year, as we're just introducing the idea, it is something that you can think about. It is something that you can utilize to help your sponsorship partners as well. And so it was just a creative idea. It's really well done. The other thing that we do is we ask for feedback. So there's a survey that's sent to the people that participate. And so we will learn from that and we'll only get better at it. It's been a lot of fun, seeing the former players interact and with the fans as well. So we expect it to continue to be a great experience.
That's great. How was it recruiting the former players? How did that process go?
Well, great thanks to Reggie Brooks and our Monogram Club Letter Winners organization, because they are the ones that really have that contact with our former letter winners. And they've done a great job. We were very successful in recruiting, our former players, our pro players and our non-pro players to come back and participate. So that's been really, really successful, and we've been really pleased with that.
That's awesome. That's super exciting. If you're a fan, you can see a former player or somebody that's in the NFL right now. That's amazing. That sets your weekend on fire. That's great. So Mario, you're always innovating. You're looking at new ways to innovate. This is obviously an opportunity to pull something into the future that you realized this year during the pandemic. What else are you looking at by way of innovation? Or are there other things that you're looking at right now or evaluating?
Yeah, one of the things that we've realized for some time in college athletics is that our revenue streams aren't diverse enough. And so what do we need to do about that, right? we can't sort of cut our way out of this problem, right? We can't, we can reduce expenses, but we're going to have to grow our revenue.
Yeah.
And so we've commissioned a couple of different teams to take a look at sort of enhancing our current revenues and to look at new revenue streams. So I have committees that I've formed to take a look at both of those. I think that a lot of sort of the preliminary findings are that we're going to have to capitalize on our fan experience, and how can we bring sort of the Notre Dame family together. From a data perspective, how can we bring those databases together? How can we deliver a consistent experience? How can we create a more targeted and more coordinated marketing campaign to all of our fans and our donors, not of just athletics, but to the university overall. So we're excited about our partnership with Fanatics and our fan intelligence product, where we're bringing those data sources together to learn more about our fans, because that's going to be one of the keys. That's going to be one of the underpinnings of what we do.
Sure.
So I meet with the chairs of our committees every other week. And next week, they're going to be presenting me with some findings and some ideas that we're going to focus on. Some of them are short term, some of them are longer term. And so we're really excited about developing some new ideas and coming up with some different revenue streams, and really, again, bringing a better customer experience to all of our fans and being able to deliver to them content and everything else that they're looking for.
Awesome. Mario, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. Take care.
Thank you for joining the Thought Leaders video blog. And remember, everyone can step up and be a leader in their own way. We look forward to seeing you next time.